The split happening right now is so profound that if you're not feeling it or you think something else is going on, this might be a very important video for you. I want to talk to you about the huge transition that's happening right now and why some people are feeling it and others are not. Because there's no one reality. There is one thing at the core of the entire transition into, call it anything, 5D. We don't even need names anymore. We know what a higher frequency is. We know what's in that existence, and it is unconditional love. But how do we get there? I'm going to talk about that today. And if you do this one thing and you work on just this one thing, there's no way you cannot achieve it. Are you ready to go there? I think you are. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. It's a choice, but we've been conditioned. We are spirits, beautiful energy fields, not separate from anything else, inhabiting bodies, experiencing density. And we are infused with our own beautiful energy field. This body gets to experience things that we don't get to when we don't have this dense material world to live in. It is a unique, privileged experience to be here. It allows us to evolve to what? I'm going to talk about that today. What do I want to share with you that's so important? We are transitioning. If you aren't feeling it, it is one reason. You are still in density and ego and fear. That means that you see this material world and you believe it. You are not understanding that it is, and I hesitate to use the word game, but it is a game. It's an illusion, self-created, and we decided that's the illusion that I'm going to step into. Why? Because I'll get to understand the contrast. I'll get to understand all the things that we are as one amazing source energy, and to know itself through the experiences and the contrast that is less than unconditional love. These are things beyond human comprehension. I'm going to talk about the one thing that will allow you to understand how transition is affecting one person and not another. It is oneness. It seems simple, but I'm going to ask you a question right now. Do you separate yourself from anyone? Now, I just saw a documentary. I love documentaries. I don't watch anything other than science, and that's art also. But stories, encouraging stories. I love to learn about people and what's going on out there with their own personal triumphs and achievements. There was a major dude, Navy SEAL here in the United States, that did 14 combat missions that were unspeakable things you can't even imagine, that he chose to go into. Well, when he came out of the service, this guy had Purple Hearts. He was decorated. I get just tons of decorated awards and everything you can imagine. He decided that he was transgender and started to dress like a woman. He's not homosexual, he's transgender. He said he doesn't even understand it. And somehow that disrupted how people thought of him. Now some said, well, you are what you are, but it doesn't take away from who you are, what you are, and that's this person who had these amazing accomplishments. But somehow others decided to judge that and decided it was shameful. Why do we do that? Why do we have to label how somebody should be or act, and that how all of a sudden they're a different person if they are not what we believe they should be? That's separation. That's going to challenge you, because you might say right here, oh, that's so wrong. Why is it wrong? Christ didn't judge that. In fact, Christ said the opposite. The one doesn't judge it because the one created it. The one created that and the situation, and that's what's testing us. When you go into separation, you go into low density, judgment is one of the worst forms because it's fear that somebody's different than you and somehow they threaten you or the humanity. You see the material world, so you believe that's what they are. You don't realize that we are all those things. And you separate yourself because you believe that they are something different than light and love, and everyone is light and love. These are tests. So if you separate yourself or judge anyone, you are now entrenched in the material world and you will remain in it. Even when you transition, you will find yourself having to learn new lessons and evolve, possibly come back here again. Maybe not in the most, let's just say, pleasant of experiences, because all realities exist. So you might come back in another time period and really be tested. Maybe you'll be the person who decides that you want to put on women's clothing. So once you understand, because you don't begin or end, you do get to experience just endless forms and illusions, which means that maybe if you were murdered once, you might come back as the murderer to know how they felt and the anguish and fear in the dark place they were coming from in order to perpetrate such an act. Now that seems so wrong, but it's what exists right now. And if you understand that everything is one thing, it can't possibly be separate, then you have to know that the source of all things is that also. And it is also unconditionally loved. We have to go into that space. This can be one of the most difficult things for people to do because they'll say, oh, well, I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with that. You're going to have to be okay with that because the One created that. And you are the test to see if you can go into that space of unconditional love, knowing that it is another expression of you. It's our test, and that's how we evolve here. All of it's for our evolution, to know ourselves and go back into one. What do you do when you want to destroy something? You break it up. You split it up, right? You separate it. You blow it up into endless pieces. What do you want to do when you want to bring something together and make it powerful? You bring it together. It's more powerful. Even the fragments become more powerful together. And that's what we're doing right now. That's it. It's that simple. Now, if you are taking a side, creating groups, taking a stand, fighting for this, fighting for that, versus creating the solutions, yes, coming together. We have groups here. Tampa Bay Waterkeepers. Let's get together and tell people we're not going to tolerate these laws anymore that allow things to be dumped into our waters. So we're taking action. This is the world you have to live in if you want it to change. You can't sit back, complain, and judge anymore. And that's the new world where the transition will take you to a place that you never imagined. And what is that? Oneness, that's me, that's another expression, that's a test. My evolution is to see that differently and be the change. Oneness is the only way out. That's it. Because within oneness there's love, because when you realize that is you, you'll have nothing but love for it and compassion. And no human body or clothes that we wear or makeup we put on changes that. That all dissolves. It changes every moment. You get older, you look different. All of it, an illusion. And you get to go into the oneness, the greatness of the source that loves everything because it is everything. It created everything. And it's watching the fragments hopefully come back together. And if not, that's your choice. If you want to remain out there, it's okay. But if you're ready to go into that space of total love, unconditional, you're beautiful and perfect right now. You've done nothing wrong. You've experienced, you've made choices, yes. There's nothing you can't change in your life. Now, I have a free master class called Breakthrough Fear. 4 proven steps for you to manifest anything, because it starts with fear. When we hang on to fear, it's a barrier between me and what I desire, because what I think is not that which I believe I can create. It's limitations and doubt. It's fear that the material world somehow limits me. So if you want to come over, these are, let's just see, these are free videos. I do this every time. These are free videos called Manifest Anything. And I talk about the different ways that you can break through those fears, break into that space of miracles. Come on over, and then you can take that free 1-hour masterclass, or you can go to landriaonkka.com, sign up for it. 1 hour. It doesn't. You can't pause this thing. You got to sit there and watch it, right? I want your undivided attention. 4 steps. What's fear? Why do we have it? Why do we separate ourselves? Why do we judge? Why do we feel threatened by somebody else's expression that's different than ours? Why are we so afraid to do things in our lives and tell ourselves that it'd be failure or that I don't have those abilities? Why do we do that? It's conditioning. And I talk about all that stuff. I also have a new, brand spanking new program called Breakthrough Fear. It's a lifetime membership and live coaching. Small groups. I have just a few people in each group every week I work with. Yeah. You can come over. I'll help you break through it. And the responses and the results I'm getting are off the charts. Off the charts. For a few years now I've been doing this. And the results have been unbelievable because it's all there. You have these abilities. It's all your thoughts and limitations and judgment that separates you from that power and knowing that we're all equal. And these facades are going to test that. And you can go into a new world and peace that you've never known before when you let go. You ready to do that? I hope you'll subscribe. And then if you guys want to create your own income, create income. Quit chasing stocks. Come on, create your own income. That's the only way to secure your future. It's going to take work. Big whoop, get over it. Spiritual butt kick. It's time to develop your skills, to learn, to evolve, to expand. How amazing. Imagine the doors that'll open for you. It's very exciting. You ready to do that? I hope so. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my dear, beautiful, perfect friend. Namaste.